Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. We live in a fickle world where it doesn't take too long for the hunter to become the hunted. The CBI, hot on the trail of Sameer Wankhede, has summoned the former NCB officer for questioning now. The questioning is tomorrow in Mumbai. The charges the CBI have levelled against him are as sensational as serious. The CBI says Wankhede, the then NCB zonal director in Mumbai, conspired and cooked up a case against Aryan Khan to extort 25 crore rupees from his father, India's biggest superstar, Shahrukh Khan. The CBI FIR claims that the IRS officer, along with his team, let the real masterminds in the Cordelia drug case go, but booked Aryan Khan. Why? Because he thought Aryan's father, India's biggest superstar, would pay any amount of money to save himself from the negative publicity. That is not how it turned out. Aryan spent 26 days in jail. The Bombay High Court set him free, saying there is no positive evidence against him. It's not just Aryan. There were others who were trapped by the IRS officer as well. There was Aryan Khan's friend, Arbaz Merchant, and a model called Munmun Sen. Today, a lawyer is speaking to us on the eve of Sameer Wankhede's questioning by the CBI. He's making some stunning charges against Mr. Wankhede. Before I go to him, let me go across to our reporter Arunil, who is joining us live on the story from Mumbai. Arunil, could you just give us the details of how, when and where Mr. Wankhede's questioning will be taking place by the CBI?
Well, tomorrow between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Sameer Wankhede has been summoned by the CBI in Mumbai. Two locations are expected. One is the CBI headquarters in BKC. There is a big CBI office over there. But generally we have seen, especially during the Sushant Singh Rajput case, that the CBI officers who come from Delhi, they prefer a different location. And that time they were interrogating people at the DRDO office. So clarity on that we soon will be getting. But how tables have turned on the former Mumbai boss of the NCB. He used to call people for interrogation. Bollywood celebrity after celebrity have come to that NCB headquarters in Mumbai for interrogation. That includes Aryan Khan, that includes Deepika Padukone, Sara Ali Khan, Ananya Pandey, Arman Kohli. Many people from Bollywood, including Arjun Rampal, have been summoned by the same IRS officer as you were pointing out. Now, tomorrow he will have to face the tough questions. Tough questions are, according to the CBI FIR, that Sameer Wankhede allegedly was trying to extort money from India's biggest superstar, that is Shahrukh Khan. He had allegedly asked for rupees 25 crore. According to Prabhakar Sale, one of the witnesses who had spoken to Times Network then, he basically had revealed that the matter was settled off for rupees 18 crore and rupees 50 lakh indeed was allegedly paid by the manager of Shahrukh Khan. Several other serious charges are also pressed against Mr. Sameer Wankhede. That includes who used to fund his alleged foreign trips, lavish foreign trips that Sameer Wankhede used to undertake. Who used to fund the alleged expensive wrist watches that Sameer Wankhede used to wear every day. All these questions the CBI is definitely expected to ask Sameer Wankhede. We have been trying to get a reaction from Sameer Wankhede or his team members. Everybody seemed to have gone underground. The same Sameer Wankhede who used to contact media personnel upfront, give them information after information about the raids that he used to conduct. Now he is not ready to speak to the media. In fact, if one has to speak about it, Times Network also spoke to Mr. Fletcher Patel, one of the witnesses that Sameer Wankhede always used to use in his NCB drug raids. He also basically gave some startling revelation, basically saying that he's a school friend of Mr. Sameer Wankhede and he has gone on such drug raids for around 4 to 5 times. What was this conniving nexus that Sameer Wankhede was operating? What was the need to include KP Gosavi, a criminal by record, in the NCB raids? KP Gosavi could be seen dragging Aryan Khan to the NCB office. He was acting as an NCB officer. True. He was clicking selfies with Aryan Khan. Who gave them all these kind of authorities? Everything Sameer Wankhede will have to answer tomorrow.
No. Well, Sameer Wankhede had gone rogue, Arunil, that's the fact, and his team had gone rogue as well. And today they're paying the price for it. Thank you very much. But as I said, it's not just about Aryan Khan. It's also about Arbaz Merchant, the other boy who was arrested. It's also about Munmun Damecha, a model who was arrested in the same case. Ali Kaashif Khan Deshmukh is Munmun Damecha's lawyer. He's joining us on the broadcast. Ali Kaashif, any first thoughts on Mr. Sameer Wankhede being called for questioning tomorrow by the CBI?
I would only say one thing regarding this, that this was supposed to happen a long back. But eventually this is happening. We are happy about it because these things were coming and been known to everybody since a long time. But unfortunately, it took a certain couple of years for this thing to happen. And unfortunately, all these people, these youngsters and these students, who I would say, who are very young and they are kids actually, they're not kids, but they're actually kids, who were supposed to go behind bars for a month, and eventually they were questioned and they were blamed and named as a Chursi and what not. Drug peddlers, they were named in the court. Also, they were accusing that these people are drug peddlers. But without any iota of evidence on record, they were defamed completely. So we are happy that these things are happening. And we were quite bit aware about also the same, but we eventually did not have much evidence on record to put up such things on record in the court. So it's okay. It's eventually happening. That's good.
Okay. Okay, you're saying it's eventually happening. What should have happened a long time ago is eventually happening, that Sameer Wankhede will now finally be questioned. He's been summoned and will be questioned by the CBI. You are Munmun Damecha's lawyer. She's the lady on our screens right now. She's a model, not very famous, but she is a model. And she's someone who was arrested in the same case as Aryan Khan was, as Arbaz Merchant was. But Ali Kaashif, I want to ask you, the fact is that while Aryan Khan and Arbaz were not actually named by the NCB in their charge sheet, your client Munmun was actually named by the NCB in the charge sheet.
See, regarding this, I would only say that if you compare Aryan's case with Munmun, you would see that the case is exactly ditto the same. In Aryan case, there was no possession of any drugs. Similarly, in Munmun, there was no possession of any drugs in her possession. The alleged small quantity drug was found on the floor, which I was been talking and mentioning since the court time. And eventually, there were two more people in the room. There were some incriminating substance found from the other woman's bag, but the said woman was never arrested. The said woman was questioned, but she was not arrested. In fact, there is not a single iota of evidence, as I mentioned earlier also, regarding Munmun's incriminating or any criminal activity. But just because, so this is what even she had told me just recently only, that when she was taken to the NCB's office, she was eventually told by Mr. Wankhede that she would be let off, and there is no case against her at all, since there is no possession of any drugs. But eventually, when he got to know that she is a model and all these things, so even I don't understand why he got more interested in getting her detained, and he let off all the other two people who were there in the room. So these are just hand-picked people who, as per Mr. Wankhede, were supposed to be in the case. So it is just a choosy thing, I would say, that he had applied in the present case, that he just wanted certain people to be in the case, so he eventually decided who should be there and who should not be there.
Now, Ali Kaashif, what you're saying is something that the CBI charge sheet is also saying, that the main culprits, the masterminds in the Cordelia drug cruise ship case were actually let off, and 3 people who didn't have a speck of drug on them were arrested because either their fathers were rich and famous, or in the case of your client, she was someone who was semi-famous. Now, Munmun Damecha is also speaking about her interaction with Sameer Wankhede, and Sameer Wankhede insisting that Munmun hire a lawyer that Sameer Wankhede was recommending. Could you just tell us about that exchange and why you think it was so sinister?
See, I'll tell you something very important. I'll tell you exactly what happened from the inception. When I was called by the family of Munmun, by that time already she was arrested in the night. I got the call the same night that this thing is happening, and in the morning we have to appear. So what these people do, this NCB and many police stations also does this similar activity, that they have certain sets of law who are actually connected with them. I would not name anybody in this because I don't want to name any lawyer and say anything about against them. But eventually they force these people that you hire this lawyer and he will help you and he will work as per our directions and instructions. This is what they say to the accused. And eventually the accused are in their custody, so they are bound to believe because they are in their custody and they know that any kind of torture or harassment could be faced. They are under their custody, so eventually they are bound to believe and do what these officers say. So on that particular day, a lawyer was hired as per their instructions, and I appeared there. I spoke to the family of Munmun, and they requested me that you please somehow manage and get into this. We don't trust. We don't know the lawyer. I don't know who are they. They are just appearing and they are just. I don't know. I don't trust anybody. So I spoke to that lawyer also that point of time. So that lawyer also was not insisting to back out from the case. Then eventually Munmun in the court premises during the hearing particularly told the particular lawyer that you please don't argue for me, please go away. It was that time when that lawyer actually went away. And this is how the things are done. Now what happens next? This is much more important and crucial to know. I come to the case, I argue against the NCB officers, the alleged activities, the kind of things which has occurred and what not occurred. Second day, during the second hearing of the custody, I have been told by certain people, I would not name them, the inside people of their own agency, that Mr. You please stay away from this matter. This was told to me in the court premises, or any kind of complaint might be filed against you. So I eventually replied that you are just duty bound to send me the documents because I was requesting them for sending me the punchnama. So this is the reply which they gave me. And eventually, after me shouting on them, after me arguing with them, they gave me the documents, but they were very unhappy. In fact, one more important thing, I was told by this particular person that Mr. Wankhede knows you very well, and he's a good friend of you, and he's giving you a genuine advice like a friend to stay away from this matter. So why are they so concerned about certain people coming on record and arguing in length, in fact, for these people? Why do they wish to let only certain people argue for their matters who are good with NCB? So I was myself a witness in this thing which happened.
Okay, I think Ali, you're making some very important points here. And these points, I believe, will be on record as well, because Munmun, the Mecha, is also now speaking, saying that Sameer Wankhede, tapped in emotional sides. He said, look, I'm trying to look out for you when I say you hire the lawyer I'm telling you to hire. I lost my mother a few years ago and you don't have a mother as well, so I'm trying to look out for you. All this while, it turns out that Mr. Sameer Wankhede was only looking out for himself. We'll leave it there for the moment, Ali. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Tomorrow is when Sameer Wankhede will be questioned by the CBI in Mumbai. That questioning, I believe, will start somewhere between 10 to 11. It's a story we'll keep track of very closely here on Mirror Now. So